Connor O'Gara, national columnist from Saturday Down South. He's with us to right now get into SEC football. Connor, what's going on? How are you?
Guys, doing well. I am not reeling, unlike the program that you all cover and watch and root for so dearly. I am not reeling in that sort of way, but I can imagine the vibes in Fayetteville, in the entire state of Arkansas, could be better.
You almost sound funereal describing what's going on here with this team right now. And people are a little bummed out,
especially after a 4-0
start. But, remember, Connor kind of saw this coming.
Mm-hmm.
Connor saw this coming. He picked them to go 4-0, and I think in your preseason choices, you picked them to lose the next 3, so you've been right on, Connor. Can you tell me, as you've watched Arkansas for these first 7 games, what it is you like most about this team and what it is you like least about this team?
Well, I appreciate you giving me that love. Not to pat myself on the back too hard, but I had the first. That means a lot. That really does. The first 6 games I had called, and then the 7th one I did not have. I had them beating Auburn in the preseason, so I'll take the L on that. But at the same time, you look at why they lost that game. It's the defense not being able to adjust without Jalen Catalon. I thought was the key in that game. You see Bo Nix take some chances downfield. He wasn't afraid to throw downfield. If Jalen Catalon's out there, I don't know that that's the case. And even stepping into some of those throws, if you have Jalen Catalon in the box, if he's coming off the edge, something like that could also change the way that Bo Nix was able to settle into that game. And he looked very comfortable. And you're hoping that after the defensive performance against Ole Miss, that this defense was going to come out with his hair on fire. And they did things better, but I still thought that there was a lot of mistakes made. And you see even, Miles Fletcher biting on the fake on that first drive, and that's a touchdown. And, this is a team that just has to be able to find ways to win close games. And that's, one of the things I was kind of worried about with the way that it played out against Texas A&M and the way that it played out against Texas. Arkansas controlled those entire games, and it really wasn't back and forth, and they dominated that. So how are you making plays? How are you executing in the fourth quarter of these games? They let that one slip away, I thought it was very winnable.
Yeah, it certainly seemed to be winnable, but now they get a couple of weeks to hopefully get healthy. Of course, Catalon's not coming back right now, so he might 2023, or 2022 is what Coach Pittman said, and we'll see what happens when that comes around. So just kind of another regular weekend in the SEC, right, Connor? And we got stuff being thrown by fans. Nick Saban's got a giant bruise on his arm. Ed Orgeron, a national championship winning coach, is out, but will finish the season as their head coach. And I think that's the right move by LSU to keep Orgeron around so that there's not a repeat of what happened the previous time they made a change midseason and had an interim coach that got momentum, players got behind him, and they ended up hiring him. I don't think they want to hire an interim head coach, nor does Scott Woodward need to feel that sort of pressure. So to me, although it's a little weird that Orgeron is going to stick around, it does make sense.
Let me try this one on. How about Ed Orgeron is the interim coach right now?
Yeah.
He gets enough momentum. Scott Woodward does a 180, says, you know what, we're going to bring you back here. We're not going to pay you that $17 million buyout. You're going to continue to do your job. Jokes aside, I think there is really a part of him that's like, hey, you know what? We've actually kind of seen him in a role that's not quite this because he was trying to get the job, and here it's a little bit different. But I do think there's a part of Scott Woodward that just kind of wants to hold this thing together and not let it completely fall by the wayside, which it easily could with the competition that they have coming up. So it's weird, it's strange, and a lot of people are kind of wondering, why would he sign up to do something like this? What else is he going to do? What else is Orgeron going to do right now? Because it's not like he's got another job lined up and ready to go and compete mid-season for it. So I kind of get it from that standpoint. It's weird. It's strange. We expect Scott Woodward to go out and make a big-time hire. I've been saying all week, the guy makes bigger splashes than Ham Porter from Sandlot, all right? Like, that's what we're talking about here. Nice. He's going to go out. Maybe it's Lane Kiffin. Maybe it's Jimbo Fisher. Probably not Jimbo Fisher, actually. Let's take that one off the record. But he's going to go out and make a big splash. That's what he's going to do. So right now, you're just hoping, if you're an LSU fan, that things don't go from bad to worse and your program doesn't look like a dumpster fire in the latter half of the season.
With the coaching search that's ultimately coming up and that they're doing their due diligence right now, how much does everything else going on at LSU affect their coaching search? Have they reached the point where, screw it, we're going to do everything wrong because we pretty much have up to this point. We'll go out and get anybody who we think will win on Saturday at any cost. Or are they looking for a guy that has a stable background, has a background of not getting in trouble, of doing everything the clean and right way to kind of try to right the ship?
So would they hire Lane Kiffin or would they not hire Lane Kiffin?
Pretty much, yes. That was a question there.
Yeah, I think they would hire Lane Kiffin. I absolutely do. And look, contrary to what Michael Wilbon said, I don't think that Lane Kiffin has brought negative attention to every program that he's been at. And I would argue there are a lot of Ole Miss fans that if he were to leave after year two, they would be devastated. And that would forever be the one that got away. But, let's think about the leverage that Scott Woodward would have in this situation. He wants to be able to make a big-time hire. He is the LSU graduate, the Baton Rouge native. This is a guy who has grown up dreaming about having this opportunity to take a big swing to hire the LSU football coach. That's why I don't think Billy Napier is coming there. Billy Napier is a great football coach, but is he somebody that really moves the needle in the way that Scott Woodward has typically moved the needle? It's not just Jimbo Fisher to A&M. It's Chris Peterson poaching him from Boise State to join him at Washington. It's making these big-time hires that make you say, wow, that program is not messing around. I think they go after somebody like Lane Kiffin. It would not surprise me at all. State of Mississippi, you can't have a contract that runs longer than 4 years. Scott Woodward can come over the top and essentially double what Lane Kiffin is currently making right now and say, hey, come on board for 10 years. So I think that we're in line for a very big-time splashy hire from LSU.
Well, he's already done that in the two hires that have gotten some publicity at LSU. I mean, he hires Kim Mulkey and gets Jay Johnson, the Arizona head baseball coach, and he's now at LSU after taking Arizona to the College World Series. So, I mean, there's two pretty big names that he got there, and now he's got the whole spotlight on him with this football search.
And it's one that I think he is going to make sure that he exhausts every resource possible. And there's going to be no shortage of momentum. I know maybe some people looked at that buyout from Ed Orgeron and said, wow, $17 million, they're paying him to walk away. Maybe they'll go the cheap way out with a football coach. No way. They are not going to hold back. They're going to break the bank to hire their next football coach.
Oh, they definitely will. They'll find the money. They've got plenty of money down there in Baton Rouge, and they'll find it to pay the Edo and put a very, very nice offer on the table. How come nobody's talking about the team that LSU beat? And the fact of the matter is that Dan Mullen lost to Ed Orgeron, and at the time where Florida was ranked in the top 20. And how much longer is Dan Mullen time in Gainesville going to last? Because it doesn't seem like it's gone too well.
Oh, guys, I can promise you plenty of people are talking about it, especially in my neck of the woods here. There are a lot of upset Florida fans, and rightfully so, because it's not just the fact that he has now lost 3 consecutive games to LSU, 2 of which were to historically bad LSU teams. It's the fact that he is now 2-6 in his last 8 games against Power 5 competition. That's not going to cut it. They are seriously wondering what the long-term future is for Dan Mullen, because he got this extension in the offseason to be one of the 5 highest-paid coaches in the sport, but his buyout's only $12 million. And in this day and age, that's really not a whole lot. Will Muschamp's got more than that. South Carolina. South Carolina ain't Florida, all right? It's just not. And Florida could absolutely afford to do something like that. So I don't know. It depends how the rest of the season goes, but it's baffling to see the way this has played out. The guy that he put all of his faith in on the defensive side, Todd Grantham, has been a disappointment this year. Florida fans are ready to be done with him. They're ready to be done with pretending Emory Jones is better than Anthony Richardson. There are a lot of upset Florida fans right now, and they're going to be more upset if they get smoked by Georgia in a couple weeks in Jacksonville.
Staying in the state of Florida, is there anybody that's actually pleased with the job their coach has done? I mean, Mike Norvell hasn't had the best year in year number 2 at Florida State. Manny Diaz is Miamiing it up, and I don't think anybody expected Gus Malzahn to get blown out to Cincy like they did. I mean, is any fan base in Florida actually happy and content with their head coach right now?
Probably not, but I think if there's a coach who's getting the most leniency, it's Gus Malzahn, because he's had injuries galore. I mean, they lost Dylan Gabriel. That was really, really big, and Cincinnati was always going to be better than them coming into the year, but I think if there's somebody who's kind of been given a little bit of a pass, it's him. They've just had some really, really bad injury luck, whereas you look at the other programs in the state, and it's been embarrassing. I mean, Manny Diaz looks like he's on the way out at Miami, a guy who, coming into the year, you're wondering, man, could they be a sneaky team to maybe get to a New Year's Six Bowl? Derek King is back healthy, and that has just not played out. And, yeah, I mean, the Mike Norvell experiment has not exactly gone according to plan, but who knows? I think they'll still be a little bit more patient. They don't want to be the program who fires a coach after year 2 again. I think that teams would like to avoid that. Mississippi State would probably like to avoid that with Mike Leach as well. Things get a lot easier for him if he can just clinch a bowl berth or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, but there's no shortage of upset fans in Sunshine State right now.
Connor, we'll let you go with that, man. Appreciate you coming on as always. It's fun talking with you, and we'll look forward to it next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
You got Thanks, Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Give him a follow on Twitter at CJ O'Gara, SaturdayDownSouth.com, the website. And I always have, Saturday Down South has the reputation of being an aggregator of stories, but they do have good columnists, really good columnists.
Oh, really good stories.
Give you good thoughts on what's going on in the SEC. Connor right there at the top of the list. All right, we're going to close up shop after the break. 877-377-6963 for your calls, your texts, or your comments. And we will be right back.
We're back and better than ever. A new web interface to start the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV 50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, and baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.